Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Multiplex. He made his first appearance in Firestorm, issue number 1, that was released in March of 1978. His real name is Danton Black, and he's a criminal with unique powers that stands 6 feet tall and weighs 188 pounds, having blue eyes and black hair. Now, Danton received his metahuman powers from the same nuclear blast that created the heroic Firestorm. However, instead of the fusion energies that created Firestorm, Danton's powers stem from nuclear fission, being the splitting of atoms. And due to this nuclear physiology, he's gained the ability to mass duplicate himself to an almost limitless level. These duploids, as he calls them, share his thoughts, identity, and sometimes these carbon copies of himself can create even smaller duploids of themselves, which can come in handy when he's in a tight spot. And although early on he used to need energy sources outside of himself to boost his powers, he would later discover a way to fully power himself. Now I have to mention that Multiplex and each of his duploids all have low-level superhuman strength and durability, not to mention a limited degree of flight. There was also a recent period where he was briefly imbued with a portion of the Speed Force, which greatly increased his speed and agility. This was given to him by a powerful villainous ally of his named Raijin, who could manipulate the Speed Force itself. And to round this all out, Danton is also a scientist, which means he has at least slightly genius-level intellect. Now, Dr. Danton Black was actually Professor Martin Stein's assistant during the development of the experimental Hudson Nuclear Power Plant. Around the time that the plant would open, Stein would catch Danton stealing plant designs and fired him, but Stein didn't turn him in. However, to cover his tracks, Danton would go to the authorities and make up a story that Stein had actually stolen the plans from him. Due to these shenanigans, the Nuclear Regulations Council would decide to postpone the plant's opening while they investigated Danton's claims. However, Stein, being afraid that the delay would cause enough public concern to prevent the plant from ever opening, would decide to turn the power plant on to demonstrate that his theories were sound. Unfortunately, this test would be sabotaged by eco-terrorists who put a bomb in the facility, and the resulting explosion would cause the merger of Martin Stein and Ronnie Raymond into Firestorm, while it would also give Danton Black his powers, due to the fact that he had snuck into the plant during this time to try to find more evidence to frame Stein. Thus, he was caught in the explosion as well. The villain Multiplex was now born, and he was actually Firestorm's first superpowered enemy, being primarily motivated by revenge, money, and power. Multiplex would also be implicated in the kidnapping of Lorraine Reilly and the performing of experiments on her, which led to her becoming Firehawk. Despite being a mortal enemy of Firestorm, Multiplex would go on to later join the Suicide Squad, doing dangerous missions for the government in exchange for pardons for his offenses. And it was right up Multiplex's alley when the squad was called upon to stop Firestorm, who had threatened to take out the world's nuclear arms. However, during this battle, Parasite was mistakenly released, and he went on a rampage and appeared to have taken Multiplex out by draining him of his powers and then his life. We'd later learn that this was not correct, because years later, we'd see him happily join up with some other villains like Killer Frost and Cliff Carmichael to try to take out Firestorm again. We'd later see him serve in a short stint with the Secret Society of Supervillains when Black Adam forced him to join. But most recently, we'd see Multiplex serve in the Black Hole organization under Raijin and Gorilla Grodd, acting as a one-man army against Flash and the Flash family. And to be honest, this villainous dude is basically everywhere, literally. Now, for his powers and abilities and his influence on the DC universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Multiplex a rating of 5, which is an enigmatic rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.